What are you doing here? Dad, I'm fine. What are you doing?
Well, look, the mistakes get made.
Well, I made a lot of decisions that I probably shouldn't have made.
It could lead to just a horrible outcome. We're in a better position economically and politically. We still have real problems.
To me, it's not something that is difficult to explain.
Look,
there could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me. Not one serious journalist has ever come to the conclusion that I did anything wrong or that my father did anything wrong.
Thank you. I guess you get asked, I don't guess, you get asked the question, are you on drugs? You use drugs.
I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone. I mean, I went one time for 13 days without sleeping.
Not a joke.
And smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively.
Incredible.
Throughout that entire time.
I'm proud of my son. So darn proud. What is there any breathing room?
It's hard.
Look, we reduced drug prices.
You should definitely watch out for your kids, especially if they're hanging around a lot of Italian restaurants with Parmesan cheese. And I always wondered what a conversation would look like between the Bidens, and through meme magic, now we finally know. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Rudowski here of wearechange.org, and we have a plethora of absolutely crazy, bombastic news to get into today, especially when it comes to American geopolitical developments surrounding a balloon. Yes, everyone loves to talk about the balloon. We're going to be talking about it extensively, as well as some very serious questions about it that should raise some very serious concerns, not just for the Democrats, but also for the Republicans as well. We're going to get into that, plus a lot of other domestic news that's happening inside of the United States. But before we do, the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by the extremely talented Maze Moore on Twitter. If they have a YouTube account, we of course will be linking it down in the description below. But their editing of a fake make-believe satirical version of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden talking together is absolutely epic and very well done. If you haven't subscribed to @MazeMoore, what are you waiting for? Truly incredible work that definitely deserves a lot more viewership and eyeballs on it, as it is becoming more and more critically important to support the arts. The most important art of all, memes. This is, of course, something that very prestigious members of the corporate media establishment, people who take themselves way too seriously, like Don Lemon, don't understand. This, as he has become a meme many times through his ridiculous stances on issues, as today we're also finding out that he likes to allegedly scream and berate his fellow employees to the point where they are crying and leaving off stage because she allegedly interrupted him during a live broadcast. And what did you expect at the, quote, most trusted name in the news that is suffering the worst ratings week in over 9+ years? This, as recently the network has had a major shakeup and has demoted Don Lemon from one of the most viewed hours on network television to the least viewed. This, as the network is becoming more and more unsufferable even to the biggest of NPCs. This, as their curation to the woke outrage mob machine has backfired on them and has shown that being a fully 100% corporatist activist organization hasn't really worked out that well for them. This, as the number of things that people are outraged about is continuing to, of course, increase. This, as of course, when there's nothing to be outraged about, people will start inventing things to be outraged for. This, as a public school in New York is now apologizing because they serve chicken and waffles. Yes, you heard that correctly. All of this as the intelligence agencies of the United States giving themselves more and more power. All of this as their latest investigations into classified documents now have the former Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, home searched. This, as the FBI's involvement in our political system raises concerns. All of this as we are again facing the major prospects of a Biden-Trump rematch for the 2024 presidential elections. That's, of course, if the FBI doesn't decide to intervene and cancel or legally jeopardize both of these presidential candidates, as it might look like we have an intelligentsia deep state takeover of our political system that hopefully goes a lot better than what's happening in Peru. This as the president there previously was arrested on December 7th after trying to dissolve members of Congress. This as there's still major protests in that country that are escalating, costing many people their lives, and also denying the world their much needed copper supply. And with all these other global shortages of raw materials and metals, at least we still have t-shirts. There was a problem a few weeks ago, to be completely honest with you, as actually there has been a major shortage of t-shirts in the industry. Luckily, a lot of them are back in stock now, and that's why you should take this opportunity more than ever to go on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, our own website, where we offer you the spiciest of ideas that are only available here on our little online digital platform, where we get to sell our ideas through t-shirts. We just released this latest one, which is absolutely incredible. And if you can't read and are dyslexic, it reads uncancelable, and it's one of my favorite t-shirts so far, and we have a lot of them. My closet, by the way, is just filled with all these shirts, including the one that I'm wearing right now, featuring my co-host, which is still in the back, Atlas, who is there on the couch enjoying, relaxing her time off right before we go for a major walk right after this video and before the video. But today I'm wearing a shirt paying respects to her that reads and says, "No step on dog," with a picture of her when she was a puppy. So she's still there if you haven't noticed her. Atlas, say hi. Her head's peeking, but it's above the pillar. You want to come say hi? Good job. Buy your shirt already, you bum. Hey, don't talk to Atlas. That's not nice. You shouldn't be... but she's a great dog, awesome dog. She goes everywhere I go. But yeah, if you don't want a shirt, we also have certificates of recognition, which you could also exclusively only get on imtherealog.com. That's an actual website. That is our website. And just for the ish and giggles of it, scrolling through our many shirts will probably at least entertain you for the moment. Check out everything we have to offer to you on. The link is down in the description below. Just click it right now. Oh yeah, we also launched this one, which is pretty awesome. I really like this t-shirt as well. And I'm personally excited for it to get to me as well, so I can wear it outside and declare that I'm not a soy boy. Now, over the weekend, one of the things that has been dominating our news cycle is the talk of a balloon. And just hours ago, moments ago, the balloon went pop. Sorry, that wasn't the official video. This is the official video of a Chinese spy balloon that has flown across the United States that was finally taken down by the U.S. military, and with it along come a lot of very serious consequences and questions that I think a lot of people deserve to talk about in a real perspective that is not dominated by the military-industrial complex. Now, of course, there was a lot of critique and pressure on the current president of the United States, since, of course, many of his administration's policies have been greatly benefiting the country of China, especially with the United States giving Afghanistan and its natural resources to China on a silver platter, especially when it comes to some of the business practices here that punish businesses in the United States that allow China to violate them internationally and ship over their goods to the United States, creating an unfair advantage against American businesses. And let's be honest here, Joe Biden, as a career politician, could be argued in many instances has served the people of China more than he has served the people of the United States. That criticism might be a little hyperbolic, but it's not out of the realm of discussion, especially when it comes to a lot of the policies, a lot of the moves that he has made throughout his entire political career that has benefited the multinational corporate state that is intervened and interwoven with China. And that's why there was a lot of criticism against the President of the United States for not taking down this balloon fast enough. This as the Pentagon spokesperson made an announcement that this Chinese spy balloon would not be taken down. This is now the official version of events, is that this balloon was being tracked, that allegedly its signals were being jammed as data was being gathered on it before it was shot down just a few hours ago. This as, of course, the route of the Chinese spy plane flew directly over U.S. nuclear missile sites. And allegedly, this is not the only balloon, as there have been other reports of multiple balloon sightings, and even Business Insider writing this article today coming out saying specifically that this same incident allegedly happened 3 times during the previous president of the United States administration. And when it comes to all these news reports, I personally want to see the receipts before believing anonymous U.S. government sources, as of course they have a long history of lying and not telling the truth, as of course it's fair to say that tensions geopolitically have been escalated between the United States and China, which is seen as a rising power, threatening, of course, the Thucydides trap that many geopolitical experts keep talking about. This has now a lot of the media, military, industrial complex, establishment industries patting themselves on the back, and, in my opinion, for what? We have the largest, quote, defense budget in the entire world. We spend more on the military than a large majority portion of the entire world combined. We have the largest defense budget in the history of the world, and literally a single commie floaty boy is able just to defeat it. All of this is right before the Secretary of State is supposed to have his visit to China, and I think it's worth asking here, how in the world did we get here when we spend so much money on defense, and clearly what we're paying for is not getting our money's worth at all? As of course, this is not the first time that U.S. national air defense systems have failed us, particularly in 2001, but that raises a lot of other questions that we simply do not have time to get into in this particular video. But this is not the first failure of the military-industrial complex, as of course there's also a lot of very interesting developments coming from the conflict in Ukraine, which is the larger proxy conflict between the East and the West, with previously the nationalinterest.org writing a very interesting article a few years ago that was entitled, quote, "The U.S. Army's artillery is outmatched by Russia's big guns." And now, with all the latest developments happening specifically in the Bakhmut area of Ukraine, this assessment does look to be true from all, of course, initial accounts, as of course all the major U.S. intelligence agencies and clandestine operations are intricately involved in that larger proxy conflict, which they have been sending a huge amount of aid and advanced military technological capabilities to, which has resulted in essentially a larger stalemate, with the Russians now having some victories and now taking back even more territory, specifically in the key region of Bakhmut, that they didn't have before. Now, all of this is happening as the United States is also becoming more and more aggressive against countries like Iran, which through the involvement of Israel, Azerbaijan, and Armenia could involve many other countries in a larger global conflict. All of this as this balloon from China could potentially have futuristic technological warfare equipment on it, like EMPs, could be delivery platforms for secret nuclear attacks. This, as I think it's fair to say that the no-bid contracts here, the lack of accountability here, the writing of blank checks towards this huge industry that has left unchallenged, unquestioned, has left them to be able to do what we want. And historically, when it comes to any business, when it comes to any enterprise, when it comes to any larger kind of initiative, whenever you don't have a free market, which the larger socialists at the military-industrial complex do not, they're essentially commies, you have the degradation of an institution or a product they're serving, as of course, with there being no competition, there's no incentive to provide anything that is good. As time and time again, we hear about wasteful spending, corruption at the industry that is not just devaluing the purchasing power of your dollar and causing massive amounts of inflation, but at the same time creating a product that is absolutely useless and will not be able to protect you. It's all a racket, and your money is paying for it. That's what I think is really happening here. What do you think is really happening here? Let me know down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching, sharing, and getting the t-shirts. And because you do, this is why I am here and why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.